Hello, welcome back to the Academic Convenience Store, and thank you for stopping by. Tonight, I wanted to invite you into the VIP section, Virtual Teachers Lounge, where tonight we're going to be talking about homework. To homework or not to homework? What do y'all teachers think about that out there? What do you parents think? And of course, we know what the students think. But I just wanted to kind of share a little bit. So my philosophy on homework is really, I do believe that students should have homework. One reason is because for most of their academic career, their assignments take place outside of the classroom. Most college courses, high school, well, for sure college, you're only in class for maybe 2, possibly 3 days out of the week, 1 or 2 hours. So most of your assignments and your studying are happening outside of the classroom. So that's number one, is to help students to develop, some consistent and strong study habits outside of the classroom. Number two, I believe that homework allows parents to have some insight into what we are learning in the classroom and what we're actually doing and what we're actually working on in the classroom. Because I know there are some parents out there that actually get a little concerned with teachers that don't assign homework. And so I like to provide homework to allow parents to have some insight into what the students are doing in class. And number three, I think that homework is important because, again, it allows parents to participate in the learning process with their students so they can see if their child is struggling with something or not, or if they're growing or developing a skill. And so that being said, for the most part, it allows students, parents, and families to have insight into the material, creating study habits, all of that together. Now, I do not take points away for homework. I do not, give it like a letter grade if it's looking for accuracy. I'm basically checking for effort and completion for the most part. And so I will definitely give the students, I like to use Classroom Dojo as a place to record their homework. They're basically getting participation and effort points for the homework. Typically, Class Dojo will allow you to pull a report. And so when I go into the grading system, I can see, okay, this student is very consistent with their homework. It might give them a few points, actually some good amount of points if you're doing it consistently every day. That can actually boost their grade or boost their score, especially if they're struggling with the assignments, with the quizzes, with the tests, with their projects and whatnot, may have received a low score, but they do their homework every day. Now there has really, I've seen whole grade levels improve just because they're participating and putting effort into the homework. And so also I like to remind a lot of teachers, especially new teachers, to not, I don't take points away for not doing homework. I don't lower your grade. So all homework can do is really to help your score. But I never take away or give you a 0. It's just, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't move the needle up or down on your grade or your score. Okay. The other thing is the check-in process has to be simple. I mean, to be honest with you, I really don't like checking in homework, but I know that if I don't check it in, then I can't hold the students accountable. So I'm going to take time to assign it, post it on Google Classroom. If I'm going to take time, some of the stuff I got to make copies, passing it out. That means we all got to hold ourselves accountable. That means the student as well as myself. I know teachers that say, no, I give it, but they toss it. They put it in the trash. They never check it, And so I'm one of those teachers is like, no, I'm going to go around real quick to each table, check, give your little points and keep it pushing. I do a quick check-in process. My system is check plus. If you did all 3 or all 4 assignments, boom, you have 3 dojo points. Then by Friday, that can literally add up 5 times 3. That's 15. 15 points towards ELA or math. Week after week can really add to your score. Okay, if they did not do an assignment, let's say they did the vocabulary, they didn't do the math, they didn't do the language or grammar or the reading or whatever the assignment was, you get 1 point, 1 out of the 3. You get 2 out of the 3, however the case may be. So you'll always earn something just for trying and putting some effort in, but I'll never give you a 0 or nothing for not doing it. I don't do negative dojo points for not doing it. It's just you're not getting points for that day, which add up to the week because I do the little Friday prizes, prize box. You know what I'm saying? The kids really love that on Fridays. And so, in addition to the other points they could be earning throughout the week for positive behavior and participation. The other thing is that you want to make sure that you are communicating with the students. So that's another thing that the homework check-in does, is it allows students to you to communicate with them sometimes. So even though it's a nuisance a little bit to take your time in the morning to run around doing that and recording it, at the same time, I check in with the students. Okay, you know, how did the math go for you last night? How do you think this concept was? Are you understanding it? Some students say, no, I give them like a quick little mini lesson. Students that don't, so that's a benefit. They're getting like a little mini tutor lesson as I'm checking in the homework. Checking in with the child, how's everything going? I'll get students, I say, why don't you ever do your homework? I don't ask them every time, but if I see consistently the same students, I will check in with them like, you used to do your homework, what happened? Or why don't you do it? I have a student that loves to give me a reason every single day, more than what I've asked for, why the homework is not turned in. I've had to go to Target. I had to, go to volleyball practice. Me and my parents went here and there. She gives me whole details of what their night was like. And so I'm like, okay, no worries, moving on. So that's another thing. I also don't believe that homework should take up a child's whole evening either. So, I understand extracurricular activities. I'm a huge fan of that as well. Kids have, chores, dinner, other siblings. They're running around errands with their parents. So I definitely understand as a parent myself that I don't want the homework, to take up the child's whole night. I don't assign a whole bunch of heavy projects every week. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 per semester where they have these big old projects they've got to turn in. But for the most part, homework should be relevant to what they're learning in the classroom. I do not agree with just giving busy work. It should be relevant. So if I'm giving vocabulary, all of those words are related to what they're reading in the class, or the text or the stories and chapters that we're reading in the classroom, to build their comprehension and understanding the definitions. If it's a math lesson, the math, it's going to be relevant to what they learned in the class, in the math lesson that day. I'm not going to give something they never learned. If we didn't do a math lesson that day or whatever happened, they're not going to typically get homework that evening, especially for something like math. And building their reading fluency. Reading logs are a good homework assignment, that they're building up their fluency. I've sent home reading fluency passages where they've got to read the same passage every night and then their parents sign the back. Simple things like that. Simple enough, but relevant as well, in holding the students accountable for completing it. And so, and I mark it. So and I don't keep them all. It's like, put it back in your homework folder. Their parents can see it, take it, do what they will with it. And so, yes, for the most part, that's pretty much it. Overall, homework, again, should be consistent. It should be relevant. And it should be a simple check-in process to make it simple for the teacher, the student, and the parents. So I hope that helps. And I would like to remind everybody to check out www.theacademicconvenience.store.com. We'll be hosting teacher workshops. I coach new teachers. I do that in real life. So I please look forward to seeing you at joining me for the E model for classroom instruction. I have the C model for classroom management. I have the J model for finding and maintaining joy as a teacher. I also, of course, have the intervention supports for schools, homeschool, school-based organizations, Mega Math Bootcamp, Readers Roundtable, and the Wonderful Writers Workshop. And so please look out for those items and those workshops coming out very soon. And again, thank you for stopping by the Academic Convenience Store, where you can find fun, fast, and functional facts.